Hey there. I'm Dr. Richard Maddow, co-founder of the Maddow Center for Dental Practice Success, and welcome to today's episode of the Dental Practice Fixers podcast. We have so much great stuff for you today, including a dental office story that explains why words really count. They say it's not what you say, but how you say it, and I think that's going to be more true than ever in today's episode of the podcast. But first, I want to let you know some big news, and that is got a brand new book that just came out. It's called Creating Your Ideal Dental Practice: How to Boost Your Income, Love What You Do, and Build a Winning Team. This is almost 2 years worth of work. It's an amazing book. It's for doctors. The entire team will enjoy it too. Just tons of dental practice management tips and lessons and strategies. It's like a textbook. It's close to 300 pages, and you can check it out on Amazon, or as I'm supposed to say, exclusively on Amazon. You can get it soft cover, hardback, on an e-reader for your Kindle, all the formats you could possibly want. It's got some incredible reviews on there for some big leaders in dentistry. So go check it out. Again, it's on Amazon. It's under my name, Dr. Richard Maddow. The name of the book is Creating Your Ideal Dental Practice: How to Boost Your Income, Love What You Do, and Build a Winning Team. Check it out and buy it today, or buy a few and give some to a friend. Okay, so I want to start with the story today. I mean, it happened decades ago, but I really will not forget it. I was an associate dentist. This was the second practice in which I was an associate. Maybe you've heard my crazy associate stories before. You probably have some yourself. But this was my second one in a very blue collar area of Baltimore. It was a four doctor practice, very busy practice. I was the new kid on the block. The owner dentist, I don't know, he was kind of a hot shot, maybe a little bit of an a-hole, good business person, knew how to run this practice. The practice was doing well, it was hopping. But my kind of mentor slash dental idol at the time was one of the other associates. His name was Dr. Dell. He was just a great guy, really good dentist, very kind to the patients, excellent people skills. I kind of followed him around and shadowed him as much as I could when I didn't have a patient and would talk to him. He's the guy like I talked to at the end of the day after work and ask him questions, and he would put his hand on my shoulder and give me sage advice. He was kind of my mentor. Really good guy. And he was obviously the guy who, if anyone was going to become a partner, would become a partner. So one day I came in and they let me know that Dr. Dell had just bought in. He was officially a partner. He owned a 10% stake in the practice, with the goal of having, that share increase and increase. But for now, it was 10%. He was psyched. It was a big deal for him. It was a big deal for the practice. And he was very proud of the fact that he had worked as an associate for a few years and he was now a partner. So one day, this local orthodontist stopped by, a new guy. He came in to introduce himself. And first, he was chatting with the senior owner. And then I just remember this so clearly. The senior owner pointed across the room at Dr. Dell and said, "I'd like you to meet my junior partner, Dell." It's like, oh, you could just see like the air come out of his tires. He just wanted the floor to open up and swallow him whole. He was so embarrassed by this horrible introduction. And who could blame him? I mean, would it have killed the founder, Dr. A-hole, to flash a big smile at the orthodontist and say, "This is my partner, Dr. Dell"? Why would you ever make someone feel small like that when you can make them feel proud? Why would you invest in someone and bring them into your practice as a partner and then cut them down a peg at every opportunity you get? It just made no sense to me. I guess this guy just had too big of an ego to ever give anybody else credit. But that's a different problem altogether, a huge one for sure, but a different problem altogether. But the lesson here is that words count. What you say really counts. They shape the perception, they reflect your culture. You can build people up or you can cut them down. You can make a procedure sound awesome and needed, or you can scare the crap out of a patient. You can make a patient feel important, or you can make them feel like just a number. I feel like a number. I mean, whatever you do, weigh your words very carefully because they truly do count. And you can say the same thing essentially, but say it in a different way and make it so much more powerful or so much more genuine or so much more meaningful and kind. I mean, just a few simple examples. This is something that really bugs me. Speaking of associates, I don't know why we have to refer to our associate dentist as associates. I go to a lot of websites and it'll list the dentist like, the owner dentist, and it'll say associates. Well, if I'm a new patient looking at that website, want to see the associate. I want to see the owner dentist. It's tough enough sometimes for the team to warm up to somebody when they're used to working for the owner. Then you bring in an associate and you don't know them. Are they a good dentist? Should you schedule patients with them? But if you're constantly referring to them as, oh, this is my associate, it's almost like this is a lower form of a dentist. I mean, I've heard people on the phone saying, oh, we have an opening tomorrow at 3 p.m. with our new associate, Dr. Marcus. Why would you do that? If this associate is really good, and they should be, and we're all behind him or her, let's just make them a regular dentist in our practice. Something like Dr. Marcus can see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. She's fantastic. You'll love her. So you're introducing a patient to the associate, a patient who may not have known him or her before. They thought that the owner was the only dentist. Two ways to do it. We have an opening with our new associate, or Dr. Marcus can see you tomorrow at 3. She's fantastic. Which works better? Which makes more sense? Very subtle change of words, but such a big difference. Speaking of those words, a term I can't stand is satellite office. I mean, I'm not sure that a second office works that well for many people, but if you have to open one, what does it mean to a satellite office? I can't stand it when I hear somebody saying to a patient, oh, we can see you next Tuesday in our satellite office. Why would you say that? It's like, what does this office revolve around the other office and you don't have the good equipment and supplies there? It's just kind of your satellite. It's like a second. Why would anybody want to go to an office that's perceived as a secondary office? Think about that. We can see you next Tuesday in our satellite office compared to we can see you next Tuesday in our new Plainview location. Our new location, and give the name of the location, so much better. I've seen patients kind of dismissed from the operatory, and they say, oh, you need to talk to the girl up at the front. Well, first of all, there should be a handoff procedure where they're never left alone instead of just shooing them and saying you need to talk to the girl up at the front. But the girl up at the front, what does that mean? You're going to find your way, hopefully, to the front, wherever that is, and then you're going to see like a little girl sitting up there. Just not a good term. How about I'm going to walk you up to the front office to see Sarah. She'll make sure that you're all set. I'm going to walk you up there. It's not the front, it's the front office. And this person's really going to take good care of you. You need to talk to the girl at the front. Let me walk you up to the front office to see Sarah. She can answer all of these questions for you. Or she'll make sure you're all set. Or she'll take good care of you. Always add something positive into every sentence you say. Let's say you've got a new patient coming in, you see them, the hygienist will be in shortly. The hygienist will be in shortly. It's just another faceless hygienist. How about Jennifer, your hygienist, not just the hygienist, your hygienist. And she actually has a name, and that name is Jennifer. I went to school with 27 Jennifers, but that's a story for another day. And then a little positive kindness and hype her up a little bit. Just contrast these two. You see someone, the hygienist will be in shortly. Or you see someone, Jennifer, your hygienist, will be right in. She's amazing. See the difference? They're so huge. None of these things cost a dime, but they can dramatically change how whatever you're saying is perceived by the patients, by the team members, by everyone around you, even yourself. Words count. Little things make a big difference. Always say and do the thing that's going to be more descriptive, more positive, more in the service of the patient, treating the patient like a real human being, not just the crown prep in room 3. These things are so, so important. This was just a few examples. I hope you're playing this at a team meeting. If you're not, sorry, I'm trying to find Control Central over here for our calls, which we're about to get to. Um, Play this in a team meeting and then do a little round robin. What are some things that we can say better? What are some things we're saying now, and how can we say them better? Or if nobody has any ideas, just give a phrase and say, how can we say this better? You need a cleaning. How can we say this better? We don't take your insurance. How can we say this better? These little things add up and they really, really, really count. Okay, let's move on to our mystery shopper calls. But before we do, I just want to answer a question I've been getting a lot lately. And that is, do you offer, now when they say do you, I know they're talking about Stacks because that's our credit card partner, our credit card processing partner. People have said, do you offer surcharging? Surcharging is when you charge the patient a little bit of a percentage to use a credit card. And then you wind up getting the entire fee instead of having to pay anything to the credit card company or the processing company. Now, whether that's a good fit for your practice, I'll leave that up to you. But if you feel it's a good fit, the answer is, or even if you're exploring the idea and think it might be a good fit, the answer is yes. We do recommend an awesome company that does credit card surcharging, so you get 100% of the fee. They're called CardX, CARDX. And you can learn more about it by, you won't believe this, but going to Madow.com/Cardex, MADOW.com/CARDX. Find out if surcharging's for you, how much you can save. If you think it's right for you, boom, institutes instantly. And then all of a sudden you'll be getting 100% of your fee instead of paying anyone any kind of shtuck to the credit card company. You don't have to do it if you feel it's a good fit for your practice. All right. We've got some mystery shopper calls to take care of, but I just want to remind you real quickly. Yes, my brand new book. It's called Creating Your Ideal Dental Practice, How to Boost Your Income, Love What You Do, and Build a Winning Team. It's available exclusively on Amazon.com. Hardback, softcover, Kindle, however you like it. Check it out. I know you won't regret it. It's close to 300 pages, and it's easy to read, easy to digest, fun and simple to implement. Hundreds of ideas to make your practice better, your income go up, and for you to enjoy dentistry more. That goes for the whole team. Okay, let's move over to Command Central here. As I was saying before, we've got a few mystery shopper calls for you. So why not start with this one?
Good morning. This is speaking. How may I
Hey, I
help
have
you?
a question for you. Yeah, when I bite my teeth together, I notice it kind of sounds like a clicking sound, like kind of like clicking like that. Is that normal or something I should be concerned about, you think?
First, may I ask, are you our patient?
No, I've not been into your office before.
Okay. So the clicking sound, is that happen just now or is often?
I've noticed it a few times over the last few months. Not that big of a deal, really. But I was just curious.
Okay. Did your bite change? Did you feel soreness around the jaw area or any
No,
teeth
not really
shifting?
sore. Not really sore. More of a clicking. Sometimes a clacking.
Okay. So it can be a multiple thing. So I'm not a doctor. So based on my experience, you can check with like a TMJ issue. Sometimes it's a bite issue. So it's a combination of things. So you might want to do like a comprehensive exam and ask the dentist to take a look for you. But I
I
cannot
see.
do like phone diagnostic. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's understandable. I can't hold my teeth up to the phone, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. So it's a
Right.
multiple combination reasoning why this happened.
I got it.
So it's a little bit
Okay.
complicated. Mm-hmm.
Got it. Well, thank you
Okay.
so much.
Okay. Alrighty. No welcome. Bye bye. Mm-hmm.
All right. I always like to start with something positive. So I'll say she was nice. She was certainly nice. She was friendly. She was accommodating. She wanted to help. I think she went into way too much clinical detail. Even though she said she can't diagnose over the phone, she kind of started to say it could be just too much, too much. I'd say just, she said, like, you might want to do this, you could do that. No, 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 no. I'm calling a dental office saying I hear a clicking when I bite. I'd say no choice. Let's get you into the doctor can examine it and see what's going on. That's all you need to say. You don't have to start saying it could be this, it could be that. There are multiple reasons you might want to do this, you might want to do that. This is the easiest call to handle, this type of call. They're asking about a clinical problem. Never get clinical. As she said, you can't diagnose over the phone. So why even start? Just say the best thing to do is to get you in. If you want to do a free consult, complimentary exam, or start with a full exam, that's your call. But let's get the patient in and schedule it. Not you might want to do this, not it could be that. The only way we can tell is to have the doctor take a look. Let's get you in. We have availability today at 4:30 p.m. If that's not good for you, we've got tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Which works best? Offer the two good choices, get them on the schedule. She did not even come close to offering an office visit and an examination. So I'm going to say, sorry to give a failing grade, but that's what we're going to have to give. I'm going to ask the same question to another office. Let's do our next call.
Thank you for calling. How can I help you?
I have a question for you. When I bite my teeth together, sometimes it makes like a clicking sound like that. Is that normal?
Like a popping or clicking?
or like a clicking. Sometimes it might be a clacking, but one or the
Yeah.
other. More often clicking. Every now and then a clack.
So yeah, we can do like an exam with Dr. and see if you need to do a TMJ test or it's something else.
So
That's
you can
not.
do an exam with what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the
Yeah,
first
we
thing you
can do
said.
it with our doctor here, and then he will decide if you need a TMJ treatment or it's something else.
What's a
Because
TMJ
clicking
treatment?
or so it's that thing that when you bite or when you open and close and then you start hearing popping or clicking or clenching in your jaw. So, but Doctor first need to see you.
I see.
Then yeah, then they treat it with massage and like I'm not like familiar like expert in this, but I know that
Hmm.
this is how they treat it. So we have
I see.
another location that they can take care of you.
Do you have a massage therapist that does that?
Kinda. Yeah, they have
Mhm.
the machines and they have the laser thing and they have the massage for that
Wow.
area. Yeah,
Sounds
and
like a
we do
spa.
also. Yeah, we. It's not like a spa, just like for that area, and we
Hmm.
do also appliance. So when you go to sleep, that one will adjust your bite also
I see.
at night. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Great. All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You're welcome.
Okay.
Have a good
Bye.
day. Do you want to
You too.
schedule an appointment or you want to just
Um,
check around and
yeah,
call us
well, yeah,
back?
I'm not quite ready yet. I'm going to see how the clicking goes, but thank you so much.
No, no problem. You're welcome. Have a good day.
Okay. Bye. All right. I mean, obviously, there was something positive there at the end. I mean, she almost let me hang up. Then, almost as an aside, she said, "Do you want to schedule an appointment?" And I'm thinking, okay, we're going to say good, even though I could have easily hung up because it was just all, it was like an aside at the end. But she said it. But then she followed down with, or do you just want to check around? Why would she go there? She was just about ready to go in for the kill. Would you like to schedule an appointment? She could have offered me some times or just said nothing. Would you like to schedule an appointment? I prefer times. But then she said, or would you like to just check around? Why ever give that option? So that's my main comment on this call. More so, way too much detail. We can give you a massage, we can do lasers, we can make you an appliance, we can, we can do yoga. Like we can have you play the violin. I don't. She was just going into way too much detail that probably was not even appropriate for what this patient had. Again, get the patient in, exchange some niceties, and then get them on the schedule. Despite all the flaws with going into way too much detail of things that a non-dental person would not even come close to understanding, but were also not necessary. Let's make the appointment. At the very end, she almost did it right, but then boom, she kind of blew it. I'm going to say better than most, but still not good. All right. Before my blood pressure goes up, we better start winding it down. And I hope you learned some great lessons today. Words count, words matter, whether they're on the phone or talking to a patient or team or doctor face to face. Let's make sure that we phrase everything in the friendliest, most effective, most positive way possible. Replay if you want some examples. I highly recommend listening to this at a team meeting. Check out my new book on Amazon.com. And I hope to see you soon. I'm Dr. Richard Maddow. Thanks so much for joining me on this episode of the Dental Practice Fixers podcast. Bye.